This month, I bump a Spaniard in Race A. Race B seems like I don't exist. And in Race C, we hack the game for the best start in history. Hello everyone and welcome to... No, it is not Gran Turismo 7. No, it is not Assetto Corsa Competizione, even though I said that would be on Wednesdays. But we are transitioning to that right now. But this is GT Sport. And I'm sad to say this is going to be the last monthly race guide we do on GT Sport. The last guide for GT Sport, in fact. It's not the last piece of content for GT Sport, but just the last guide. And what a meme finale we have got for you with this one. That's right, the popularity of GT Sport is really dropping down. You'll see that throughout this video. However, I thought I'd finish on a high. Finish with one final race guide. So here we go. We're at Bathurst and we are in the Tundra, as you can see in the background. So memes all the way. Let's have a look at those race details then. We're racing 2 laps here at Bathurst. It's a grid start. Who cares about traction control? Because we're on racing hard tyres. Racing hard tyres on a pickup truck. What more could you ask for? Timestamps in the background. If you are looking for a guide, it's all there. However, some meme racing, some meme action in this one. So make sure you check out all 3 races. Let's jump to the race then and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then at the start. Flash away. Always flash away if you get the chance here. Let's see, we're BS. This was actually the last race we did of the 3 races. So we did get promoted during all of this. Now, in the Tundra, brake balance. Who cares? It's a Tundra on racing hard tyres. Just pick what you like. We stick it on 0 and we're foot to the floor. Now, traction control, put on 1, but you don't need it. As you can see there, you just set off and off you go. Just make sure you change gear and don't hit the limiter. Now, we're going to go into a track guide as well, because why not? So as you head towards turn 1, what you're actually looking for here is that lamppost just before the 50-meter board. That's what you're looking for. Normally, it's the photographer, but get as close to that lamppost as possible. The grip in this car is absolutely massive. So we go around turn 1 here. Oh, it all gets very tight. Give a bit of a bump draft to the Spaniard, who can't control the bump there. And then tries to block me off a little bit here. But no, mate, I'm here. Let me on. And then behind, we have some trouble as well. In fact, we're going to start looking behind and wondering what the hell is going on. Look at what is going on back there. What is that? Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's binned it. He's gone. I don't... Who knows? Chaos. There would be chaos in this race. Of course, it's pickups at Bathurst. You can hardly fit 2 together. Anyway, as you head towards turn 2, you're braking before the 50-meter board, but after the piece of tarmac we normally use, because we have grip for days. We have so much grip here. So I'm going to keep it on the inside here. They tried around the outside. It never works on that corner, I can tell you that much. So up into P5 as we head up the mountain for the first time of 2. Anyway, you go into this left, just brake roughly and you should get it right. Make sure you're in 2nd gear. You do not want to be in 3rd. We've got a couple of ghosts here as we go through 1. And we decide to give the Italian a bit of a bump draft now as we head up towards the podium. This is all flat out, of course, because... grip for days, as I keep saying, as we head towards... Well, technically we're on top of the mountain now. Do we go any higher? I'm not too sure. We're roughly around the peak here as we then clip the left-hand side, as we then head towards the crest of the hill. As we go around, we're trying to go around flat out. You can do it as the Italian goes off. Oh, that was close. But as we head down the hill, obviously the Audi R8 sign. What a car the Audi R8 is. That's your brake marker, basically, as it hits the top of your screen, or as you see, just before it here. You're going to start braking here, and you've got grip for days again, so just be careful of a little bit of, obviously, that weave stuffer there. The Spaniard ahead gets it all sorts of wrong. They meet Barry R, and up into the lead we go. So just be careful. Remember to brake in a straight line to have the most effective braking. So we're going to head down the hill towards Forest Elbow, and there's no real marker here. Just make sure you're in the straight line and then go 100% on the brakes. You can see I'm just about now to go 100% on the brakes. Keep it in 3rd gear. Now I dropped to 2nd, I think, on this lap. But 3rd gear, because it's downhill, then you don't have to change gear and it just keeps going, which is what you actually want. Let's fast forward. Let's do a cheeky merge there onto the final lap then. So the last corner. Significant. Obviously the meme of GT Sport, one of the memes I have here. The V in that, just use that as your brake marker. It's just after the 150-meter board. 3rd gear here. You want to clip the curb on the inside. It bounces all over the place because it's a pickup truck. And continue on through like so. So we're going to head towards the last corner. Obviously, I just darted away once I got in the lead. It was nice and easy. On the right side, not the tree this time. We're looking for that lamppost before the 50-meter board. Grip for days. That is why we can brake so late. So use that as your mark here. 3rd gear for this last corner. And then you can clip the curb on the inside if you want. You can use some of the grass on the outside, to be honest. You're in a pickup truck. And then head towards the line. And this race will be pure carnage. There is DR and SR on, so be careful if you are doing this race. But hey, it's a bit of fun. There's nothing really competitive in GT Sport. Go and try it. Have a bit of a laugh. It's always good to have a laugh while racing. So there we have it. A win for TCR once again. That's it for race A then. Let's head to race B. Welcome to Japan then for race B. Weirdly, this track's normally race A, but they've put it as race B. As I say, it's a bit memey, this entire situation now in GT Sport. They put some absolute random races and a half in. It's nice they're using their imagination, to be honest. Anyway, let's get back towards the racing, obviously. So we're at Suzuka East. We are in Group 4 machinery, which does mean handling cars are the best for time trial, and probably the FF cars better for the race, you know, so you can overtake, but we'll talk about that in the race. Let's have a look at those all-important race details. We're racing 7 laps here at Suzuka East. It's a rolling start if you're near the back. F to you, because you might have a couple of corners to do. And we're on racing medium tyres. Anyway, let's forget all the chatter here. I picked the Alfa because it was top of the time trial. Let's jump to the race and let's have a look at some of the action here, because there's one car I'm particularly interested in. We are then at start. We've got a Renault Megane truck. We don't see that car very often in GT7, do we? Quite a few of these cars. In fact, if this was Group 4, it would be the Subaru, let's be honest. But it's nice to see something different for a change. Maybe you're just watching the video for that. Now, brake balance. I went with -3. This car is a little bit oversteery. We know. We've only got 10 cars in this. This is what I mean about the popularity just going down a bit. It took 6 minutes to match me up for a race here. 6 minutes. I thought it broken at first. As you can see, we start on the last corner, and there can be 16 cars here, which means you'll be starting quite far back. However, we start P10 because nobody apparently wants to race GT Sport anymore, which is fair enough. And we're going to just go into a track guide. There's one brake marker here that you are used to because we've done this many times. As you head towards turn 1 on the left hand side, you're looking for a piece of tarmac there. We're braking quite late in this car, actually. So when you see that piece of tarmac, it's right near the 50-meter board, which you might want to use instead because it's next to it. I don't know. And as you come into here, just be careful of oversteer. So I'm just using the throttle a little bit there to cause understeer, and that stops oversteer. So braking, a little bit of throttle. Happy days. And apparently you need to use that technique in GT7 to turn a car. So, hey, you're prepping for 2 things in once there. Right, we've got a Scirocco up ahead, and you saw how fast that was down the start-finish straight. We're going to go around the outside here because it's a handling car. As we see a slow Megane trophy up ahead. So, hey, we're getting 1 position already. That Tundra, well, yeah, that Tundra goes to the gravel trap, and we're up another position already in towards this right-hander. Oh, where's that Alfa going? Goodbye! Sahib. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. But hey, up into P7 and the cursed one. Already up ahead here. So how slow is this Megane trophy? Well, versus the Alfa Romeo 4C, it's not too bad as they go for the old breaking the toe back towards the racing line then. Some good stuff from the Spaniard. Looking down the inside here. There's going to be tight into turn 1. I decided to back out of it as I don't feel like I'm alongside enough. And being in the sort of DRC category, it's harder to go for those kind of... Was that a flying car? Pretty sure I just saw a flying car. But it's harder to go for those kind of moves because it's harder to judge for some DRC drivers. Some are very good, some are very clean, but I say it's very difficult, and I'd rather not cause contact there. So I'm just being more cautious than normal. So you see very quickly, it's very hard to overtake here. So race B is not the greatest anyway. It might even be why it's even less popular than normal as we go into this right-hander. And probably why we only got 10 cars. Oh, is somebody else off? Yes, P5. Whoa, don't come on like that, my friend. My word, that was close. So up into the cursed position then. But you have a run on the Renault Megane trophy here as we go down the inside. I didn't really give a lap guide for everything else, but just bounce the car throughout the entire S's, if you're wondering. Anyway, we're down the inside of this Megane trophy, slowly getting along a side here, and jobs are good, and in we go. Somebody else off up ahead. In fact, that's the car I'm interested in, but we'll look at that shortly. In fact, no, let's look at it now. Let's advance a bit further on. So we're P4. I think we missed a Volkswagen being off in all of that, so we did gain another position, but they were off in the realms, and you know, you can't really see them. Who cares? Right, anyway, let's look at P3. Let's go for a podium then. So down the inside, not quite alongside again. It would be very risky to go for that one. I wasn't even as alongside as the previous one, so we backed out of that. We carry on racing. Hippo here. Hypo. Hippo. I don't know. Can you repeat the question? Oh, no. Stop singing. Anyway, through the S's we go. As you can see, I'm trying to balance the car here. Just trying to find a different line. Get out of that dirty air and try and gain a bit of momentum through the corner. Maybe get alongside somewhere here, but it's not quite working out here. As we then continue on into this left. They just brake there, which I wasn't expecting, so I have to take avoiding action. to avoid that McGann trophy. However, we carry on through. Happy day. Look at the size of that wing. You know what? I always wonder with this car. Like, look at it. Look at the potential it has if you put it on 100-100. But yeah, it's nerfed to hell just to get into Group 4. So, a bit of weaving there. Oh, well, breaking the toe and then go back to racing line. That's weaving because they've done it too many times, in my opinion. Anyway, we're alongside here, but not alongside enough, in my opinion. So, I've just back out of it again. Being very kind here. But as we come through here, I noticed they went a bit deep. So I was like, okay, I've got an excellent bit of run here. They go defensive, which is fine. And we go around the outside here and we get easily alongside at this point. And they just turn in. They turn in even before the corner. And I have no idea why they did that. And it was a bit moronic. So I thought, oh, well, you know, maybe it's just because DRC. No, I don't think they liked me overtaking them. So we get a hit here, which I was like, okay, that's not very nice, but we'll carry on. And then we get another tap here. And then we're going to go into this left here. And then we get another tap. And then we're just going to get pushed. Unfortunately, they push themselves off and go for a spin. So I'm not sure what that's about. But Hippo, you need to... Or hip-hypo, hip-ho, hope-ho. I have no idea what you say, ho. Yeah, you need to just calm down a little bit there, mate. Because at the end of the day, I'm a car. I exist. I'm a physical object. You just have to be a bit more careful. And you lost a position because of it. That's it for race. But don't do this race. It's pretty boring. It's hard to overtake. And, hey... Go do the pickup race. It's far more entertaining. Or race C. Race C is normally quite good here. Let's check that out. Welcome then to Sardegna. It's road track A. So it's the fast one, the super duper fast one. Which does mean there's a lot of slipstreaming here and a lot of racing usually. Obviously, I'm in a bit of a different driver rating at the moment. So there's not as much. But I can definitely tell you there is good racing to be had with this race C. Let's have a look at those all-important race details. We're racing 10 laps here at Sardegna Road Track A. It's a rolling start, but it should be fairly okay. Or not in this case. Racing soft and medium tyres. Both are required. We actually have more strategy in GT Sport than GT7. Who would have thought that, eh? Times 2 fuel and times 8 tyre wear. And that is all you need to know. Now, in time trial, you want to use the McLaren F1. Because, of course, it's fast. It's Bumblebee. It's just got this bzzz as you race it. However, in the race, you want something a bit more friendly on tyres. So I went with the Corvette. And let's see how we get on in the race then. Let's jump to that right now and find out exactly what happened at the start. Here we are then at that start with a couple of McLarens on pole and P2. Shout out to Brunino, recognizing it was the monthly race. The last one though. It is going to be the last one, folks, as we get ready for the start. Now, the brake balance was +1. +1 for the Corvette. Let's see what happens in the race then. So I said about a weird start. Look ahead that everybody decides to stop. Because, hey, why not stop? So it gives us an absolute boost and a half here. Being at the back, we overtake, what, 1, 2, 3 cars already. This is going to be number 4 and number 5. And we're heading for number 6. That's right, 6 positions. And we've only just crossed the line, really. That's not too bad going. So we're going to head towards turn 1 here. Looking at P10 already. And the Aston gets absolutely punted by the McLaren behind. I did see that happening. And I sort of tried to slow up a lot more. They took full avoiding action. So Brenino, I did see that. Well played with that avoiding action. That is superb driving. A big shout out to you. A real big shout out, Brenino. Really well played. Now, we've got somebody behind called TSN Skull who decide they want to launch it down here. Well, they punt me, actually. I have no idea why. And then they do give me room on the exit, but I was just like, well, that's not really a valid move. You just literally push to pass for no reason whatsoever. Fortunately for me, though, they just get the braking all sorts of wrong. So I'm just going on the inside and... yeah, overtake them. There we go. Back into P10. So we've made quite a few positions here. Up ahead, we have somebody called Lambo, but in an Aston Martin. So a bit like AMG GT3 Racer, except that they're in the wrong car this time. But I'd probably pick the Aston over the Lambo here anyway. So, you know, fair dues with that choice. Anyway, P9 it is, the reverse curse. As we then head in towards this hairpin for the first time of 10 with another Aston Martin getting all sorts of wrong. What's going on with the Aston Martins today? I'm not too sure, but down the inside we go. They're obviously in the Aston for that tyre wear, like we are as well for the Corvette. Now, I would pick the Corvette over the Aston. You're about to see why. And remember to short shift the Corvette there, as you'll see us start to increase that speed as we get up into P8 then. So we've overtaken half the field there in one lap. Not too shabby. Most of it at the start due to a bug start, but hey... there we go. Now, turn 1 is the 100-meter board. Yes, it's a lap guide time. 100-meter board, or use the orange painted barrier on the right side. When you're on medium tyres, it's a bit earlier, so make sure you brake a bit earlier. Third gear in the Corvette, of course. Other cars may vary. As we see P6 there in the realms, that's not good. Now, the driver ahead, a bit of a weird situation we'll see in the future. But before we get to that, this next corner, the end of the stadium on the left-hand side is your brake marker. Obviously, we'd be a bit further on the right, if you know what I'm saying. So it'll be kind of a bit more speed opening the corner up. But use that as your marker here as we go into here. Not a lot of space given there. And they're going to absolutely launch it on that Mercedes. But before we get to that, make sure you're turning and you've already started to slow down before that orange painted barrier on the left-hand side. It's a really good marker to use here. And again, go through the corner. And then that Mazda just runs that Ukrainian off for no reason whatsoever. We should be friendly to the Ukrainians. What are you doing, Leon? We also get another position there if you did not notice. Now, the second to last billboard on the right side. Try to get as close to that as possible. Don't brake on it because that's too deep, but get as close as you can. And then trail brake into the corner. Now, as you go through this corner, what you're looking for is that big open gap there in the trees. When that gets to the center of your screen, hit that throttle. Oh, it's your best friend at that point because you will make the corner. And it's such a good visual marker as we leave that corner. Now, I'm going to talk about this driver up ahead because, again, I have no idea why they were driving the way they were. It's so bizarre, so random, and a bit dirty, in my opinion, actually. So we'll go in the inside here, and they just keep turning and put us into the barrier for, I'm not sure why. I got walled, basically. We've seen that before. Anyway, the brake marker for this left-hander, very critical one, is just before the 100-meter board, okay? Not on it, just before. If you brake on it, you're going to go a bit too deep, especially on the medium tires. Now, obviously, I brake on it here because I've already been walled. But hey, there we go. So we're going to leave that corner and accelerate now through this fast little bit of section here. It goes quite a hard corner to get right, actually, as we head up here. So you're going to get towards the right-hand side. And you want to dab the brakes here, just before the end of the curb on the right-hand side. And then let the car just roll through the corner. I get this corner slightly wrong here. You're going to see that. But that is the marker you use. You dab the brakes, turn in. And I've dropped to 4th gear. You can do it in 5th gear. But there we go. We make the corner all the same. Now, as we head towards the last corner then, the 100-meter board is your marker here. You can brake on it and you should make the hairpin fine. It doesn't matter if you go a little bit deep here because you're sort of V'ing it off and just pointing and squirting. So, you know, if you nail it and keep it tight, yeah, fine. But if you V it as well, it should be fairly okay. Right, we're going to see what happens with this brick now because obviously they walled us earlier and that's not very nice. I did flash them as well, of course. The legal flashing. So we're going to go through the right-hander and they keep it in the middle of the road and we go towards the left and I thought, okay, they're going to pit maneuver me here or do something weird. But they don't. So while the other move was dirty, I would say, in the grand scheme of it, that one wasn't. I was expecting to get punted right about now. Let's see what happens then. In towards turn 1 we go and no punt. They brake on time, so I don't know, maybe they didn't spot me. Maybe they weren't being aware. Maybe they're checking the mobile phone. Don't text and drive, folks. We know that. Maybe they're drunk. I have no idea. But anyway, in P4, we're chasing down P3 now, who's in a McLaren. In fact, was that the pole sitter? I'm not too sure. Anyway, in towards the right we go, and they get it all sorts wrong there. Remember, that previous corner, it's better to go very non-aggressive on the left and be aggressive on the right rather than doing it the other way around, because otherwise you lose the speed like that McLaren did there. So we're going to here. I ran a little bit deep here. You could argue I pushed the McLaren out a little bit. There was space on the outside. However, I will take that argument there. That is, you know, you might have like, Tidge, that's dirty, but a borderline, I would say. Borderline. Anyway, in towards this hairpin we go. That Porsche goes way too deep. I saw that in advance. I was like, you've braking well past 100 meters. You ain't making the corner, my friend. And we get up into P2. And we advance now to lap number 5. So what happens here? Well, of course, the leader comes in the pits as they were on the soft tyre. I won't tell you what tyre they go to until you see the end of the race, but there's a hint for you. Now, with the soft and the medium tyres, I've gone a lap too late here, lap 8. It's better to come in on lap 6 for the softs or lap 3 on the mediums. That's the best strategy here in the Corvette. Obviously, we're going to mediums now. I did stay out too long on this tyre. And the pit stop is around 20 seconds. If you have to do the strategy there. Now, the person behind was catching me up quite quick. I was like, hey, have they stayed out this long? How are they so fast suddenly, you know? I mean, my fastest lap isn't the greatest of all laps, so you can definitely go quicker. But even so, we carry on to lap 10, and I did advance that gap very quickly there. And we're actually going to get fastest lap on mediums, which shows you how slow I was on the softs. But I was in traffic, you know, give me some benefit of the doubt here. Anyway, Cosmo decides to cross the line any second now. Ish, maybe, I don't know, maybe not, who knows. But I will tell you this, that they are about to get a 1-minute penalty. There you go, they've got it now. I don't know what happened on the last corner because they didn't change to mediums, they stayed on softs. Maybe it was a mistake, I'm not too sure, as did somebody else. So make sure you do change the tires. Now folks, you can have a good race here, so do try out A and C, avoid B. Let's be real here. And that is going to be the last GT Sport race guide that we are doing. GT7 continues, of course. Assetto Corsa will be on Wednesdays pretty much going forward, apart from next week. But it's going to be on Wednesdays. But that is going to be the last GT Sport race guide. I do hope you've enjoyed them. It's been a bit of a legacy on the channel. The second half of GT Sports Live has been around these guides, and they have been awesome. So I do hope you have enjoyed these. They are good fun to make, and make sure you do check out my GT7 ones. They are still good fun. That is going to be it for me, folks. Thank you so much for all the GT Sport support. Thank you so much, honestly. It's been awesome. But please do come over to GT7. Let's see if we can have some fun over there. And a big thank you. Please subscribe, like on the way out, and I hope to see you in another video live stream very soon.